Ben.
Yes.
Ben.
Yeah?
Sometimes I wonder about the things that you do.
You wonder about the things I do?
I do wonder about things that you do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Quite positive.
Okay.
Yes.
Why, hello there. Ahem.
Don't cough. Are you mocking me?
I am mocking you.
Dare you, sir?
Anyhow. Hello there.
Welcome to episode 13
13.
of
It's spooky.
It's spooky. It's spooky season. It's October.
It's October, so we're actually going to have things we can talk about.
You are moving the microphone. Benjamin?
Yes?
I can ask you to leave. This is my house.
It is your house.
It is.
Yes. True. Oh, sir.
I need the audience to know that there's a cough drop in my mouth.
They didn't need to know. Sir.
They do need to know.
Sir.
Yes,
Sir.
yes.
All right. Anyway, guys.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about again?
Whatever we want, Ben.
Whatever
it's
we want.
Our podcast.
Exactly. So, we have some news.
We do?
Yes.
What's the news?
We might be going on other platforms, such as iTunes.
Spiffy.
Spiffy?
Amazon.
SoundCloud.
Maybe not that one.
Not that one. No. Forget it. Not SoundCloud.
Your local public library.
You know it.
We'll be there.
Yep.
In the flesh.
There. Yep. Spotify.
It's Spiffy.
Spiffy.
Also pronounced,
what?
Splinko.
Splinko. Okay, we're going on Splinko.
You might know that one more.
I think I know that one more.
Yeah.
Splinko is what we're going to be going on.
And
so
everything else that was listed, hopefully.
So make sure you go listen.
If that is not true, then
no, it'll be true.
You heard it here today, folks.
It's true. Go check it out.
Hopefully by the time that this goes up, they will already exist in those locations.
Yeah, so make
if
sure...
not, then be patient, you little impatient fool.
Make sure you go check it out, because, YouTube is fun and all, but...
much more convenient for you.
Exactly. It'll be a lot more convenient than having to go on YouTube and turning your phone sideways and not looking at the screen.
Yeah.
Even though YouTube is a video platform, not a podcast platform. Regardless. What we're going to be talking about today is something along the lines of horror movies and crazy horror movies and sad horror movies and funny horror movies and horror movies. So,
first horror movie on the list, last Friday, I was working at my pizza place that I work at, Ben, and we got an order for anchovies twice. I had 2 anchovies ordered. That is scary right there. But that's not the worst part. At some point in the night, we had an order for garlic bread. Now, our garlic bread is very simple. It's dough, garlic sauce, and cheese. Some maniac, probably a serial killer, decided to order garlic bread with no garlic sauce. So it was dough and cheese.
Ugh.
They ordered it. It was like a large garlic bread too. So they really wanted cheese bread.
That's...
Wasn't that terrifying, Ben?
That's terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Anyhow, I guess I'll go. A scary story. I work at a haunted house place.
Ooh.
Spooky. But see, we have constant sightings of ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts personally, so I don't really believe in it. But one day I was resetting an escape room that we had, and I went upstairs and I saw a dude in a suit and a bowler hat. It was just for a second.
It was a mob boss, Ben.
And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I turned away because I didn't expect anybody to be in there, and I ran away and stood at the end of the door, waiting for him to come out, and he never did. Mind you, there is no other escape. No other escape door besides that one door I was at. And
Maybe he was hiding.
Well, see, I opened it back up, and he was gone. Nowhere to be seen. No place for me to hide. I checked the cameras. Nobody there. And then I told my coworkers about it, and they said, "Oh, you saw him too."
Good old Johnny Moneybags.
So all of us have seen a dude in a suit
Yeah, it's a dead
and
mob boss.
bowler hat.
He's
Now
paying
it's
for your money.
it's kind of crazy, but we rarely see him anymore. But however,
Someone must have paid the debt.
if we lose things, we just blame it on the bowler hat guy.
Mm-hmm. Good
So
old Johnny Moneybags.
that's something. That's our scary story of the day. We'll do this, I don't know, monthly. Meaning you'll never hear it again.
Not if
Anyhow,
it's monthly,
monthly.
which means it'll happen next month.
No, it won't happen next month. It'll happen monthly, only on October.
So annually.
Annually.
There you go, bud.
Semi-annually.
No.
Bi-semi-annually.
No.
Bi-weekly.
No, that's
Bi-weekly, but you only get it 1 week, 1 day out of the year.
That's annually, Ben.
That's semi-bi-weekly, annually, monthly. So it only happens once a month out of the entire year. And it comes through only from 1 week out of all the other weeks, 1 day, which would be today.
Ben,
What?
I need you to go upstairs to your brain space and just kind of kick it a few times because it's not running at full capacity.
Look.
I need you to like restart your systems or something. Just
Look.
you just gotta get it fired up. I understand that it is currently in the afternoon, almost the middle of the week, so there's no reason for you to be tired or anything. But you really need to get with the program here, Ben. There's no place in this podcast for stupidity. This is a completely serious and intelligent podcast, as you are aware.
Sure. Yeah, no. Look, I'm bad at math.
We know.
I got like a 2% on my math test, so
All of them? We're not going to answer that question.
yeah. Anyway, so anyhow, the horror movies we're going to be talking about, the first one will be, Owen, would you like to go?
What are you doing?
It's a microphone. Go.
We have a physical microphone.
Look, just say.
here.
Just say.
Talking about The Visit. Have you seen that movie, Ben?
No, I have not seen The Visit.
Oh boy. So The Visit is one of those movies that is so outrageously bad, it's hilarious. It's one of those movies that you watch with your friends and laugh at because it's just so bad.
Please elaborate.
So the plot of the movie is that there's these two kids that are, for some reason, I don't remember why, if there even is a reason, they go to live with their grandparents for like a week or some extended time.
Oh my god, I think I remember this movie.
And when they get there, the grandparents are regular old people, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
And then the parents, I think the parents just like dropped them off.
Why?
And then the grandparents met them there. Like they never saw the parents at all. So like, as far as the parents are concerned, their children could be with anyone.
Yeah, no kidding.
So they live there, and within a couple nights, they start noticing weird things about these grandparents. The grandma goes a little cuckoo crazy at the middle of the night. She's like running around, scratching the walls, pooping her pants.
What?
Yeah.
She poops her pants.
And then the grandpa's like, don't get mad at your grandma. She gets a little weird at night. Just lock your door. So they do, and that doesn't do anything. And then they find her underneath the house, just crawling around, as one does. And then I forget what happens in the middle. But eventually at the end, right, you've got the classic scene where the grandma's at the oven, right? And she turns her head, and the little girl's like, "Grandma, what are you doing?" And she says, "I'm just cleaning the oven, sweetie. Would you like to come inside and clean it for me?" And I think she like shoves the girl inside the oven and almost closes the door shut. But it doesn't happen.
What?
It doesn't.
Where's the danger, though?
The danger is that these people are not their grandparents. I'm pretty sure the grandparents are like dead underneath the house or something. And these are just random people. And then it ends. So it's two kids, a girl and a boy. The boy's like a germaphobe. And so one of the best scenes in the movie is at the end when the grandpa takes off his diaper, which is full of feces. And he proceeds to put it around the boy's face.
Why?
There is no logical reasoning for this. It's just hilarious. And it happened, and one of my friends was out of the room when it happened, and he was like, "What did I miss?" And we're like, "The best scene in the whole movie."
What the?
And it ends, I think, with the grandparents getting killed or arrested, and everyone gets away freely.
You don't know?
I don't remember.
You don't
It was
remember.
so long ago, and it was such a bad movie. I don't remember. But I 100% recommend that everyone goes out and watches that movie because it was awful. And everyone needs to see it.
I mean, on the subject of terribly bad movies of the spooky variety, I'm gonna have to go with my list of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Go on.
All right, so this movie stars Steve Carey, who is
Oh boy.
Steve Carey is a pet detective, meaning he is a detective that looks for missing animals that are famous.
Mm-hmm.
You get that?
Mm-hmm.
You get how stupid
Famous?
that is? Famous animals. Such as, like, I don't know, Shamu or Shamu.
Shamu?
Yeah, like from SeaWorld. Shamu.
The whale?
Yeah.
That's someone's pet?
Well, no, it's like if they get like lost, then he goes looks for it, right?
Oh.
But
So
basically,
he's pest control.
no, he's not. He goes finds the animal. Anyway, so basically, this like, how do I explain this? They made two of these movies, right? But the first one, the Dolphins, the NFL team, they have a mascot, which is the dolphin. But they have a real dolphin that gets stolen.
Not the dolphin.
And so,
First of all, how do you steal a dolphin? How does that happen?
they stole the dolphin.
How?
And he has to go look for it, right? And we're wondering who could be the main villain? Who could have stolen the dolphin that everybody loves? Like
Santa
everybody's
Claus.
crying.
It was
And
Santa
so
Claus.
the chief of police goes and he says, "All right, we need your expertise. We need you to do this." Now the chief of police is a woman and like other stuff like that. And Ace Ventura, he's like, "Oh, wow," and you know, and then she's
As
like,
one does.
and she's like, "Get away from me," right? Well, all these hijinks ensue, and basically Ace Ventura finds the dolphin. But before he finds
What's
the
the
dolphin,
dolphin's name?
they don't give the dolphin a name. It's just dolphin.
They don't give the dolphin a name?
No.
Then what's the point of watching the movie, Ben?
I don't know, man. But basically, before they find the dolphin, they found the house of a late quarterback of the Dolphins, right? He used to be the quarterback, but then like everybody hated him, and so he left. And
He died.
and like we're like, oh, he's the big villain. How are we gonna find him, right? And then the chief of police is like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you found the dolphin." And then she kisses Ace Ventura, and we're like, "Oh my god, Ace Ventura got the girl," right? Well, wrong. because the girl turned out to be the late quarterback of the Dolphins.
Oh no.
And she had a sex change. And
when was this movie
and
made?
so the movie ends with Ace Ventura kicking the chief of police in the balls and then runs away.
When was this movie made?
I don't remember.
Is it an old movie?
Yeah. Like early 2000s.
So it wouldn't.
And the second one was made in 2016, and it was about him going to Mexico.
Are these horror movies or comedy movies?
They're scary.
Scary. How?
How would you assume? Well, I mean, like, that's the thing.
Nothing you just described sounded remotely fear-inducing, Ben.
You didn't see the movie, though.
Okay.
Steve Carey induced fear far more than I have ever experienced anything ever. I don't get scared by scary movies. I get scared by Steve Carey.
Just him?
Just him.
Okay.
Like, you didn't see it, but I'm telling you. It was scary.
One moment. I'm going to have to Google the name of a movie because I forgot it.
Oh, wow.
And it needs to be discussed.
Immediately?
Yes. So entertain our wonderful listeners.
Great googly moogly. How you doing on today's segment, been entertaining the audience? It never happens, but today I'm going to be explaining why do we have bread? Bread, is it needed? Do we need it? Are you sure? Thank you. I'm glad we have this talk.
It's called Tusk. Have you heard of this movie, Ben?
No.
Oh boy. Ben, I'm gonna have to ask you, as a mandatory part of existence, that you go watch it.
What is it
even
about?
more so than The Visit.
Please.
Tusk is the story of a guy, and he's driving down the road, and I didn't see the beginning, so I'm assuming he gets like run over or something, and he wakes up. Or no. He goes to this dude's like mansion for some reason, like research or something. And then he like wakes up like strapped down to like a table or something. And then he realizes, uh-oh, I'm this dude's prisoner. And then bit by bit, this guy, this old man that lives in this mansion alone, starts replacing parts of this dude's body. Like he'll like take the skin off and move it somewhere else and move bones around and organs and such. So that by around the midpoint of the film, not even the end, the midpoint, he has completely converted this dude into a walrus.
What?
And it is as humorous as it sounds.
He's a walrus.
Uh-huh. I think two of his ribs were like sharpened to be the tusks. And he just sits in this little underground pool just going, because for some reason he can't speak English anymore or any understandable language.
Converted his...
All he can do is moan. And that's his only response. And it's just weird because the old man's just like, good boy, good walrus. And he's like feeding him raw fish and the dude's just like, And at the very end of the movie, somehow the guy's girlfriend or whatever, love interest, I guess, somehow finds that he's there. Somehow.
They don't explain.
No. And they show up and they rescue him. But not before this guy kills the old man with his tusk. In a very father-son bonding moment.
He like...
The old man, they're like fighting or something, and he pushes the old man to the ground and starts stabbing him with the tusk. And the old man's just like, yes, you finally become one of them. I'm so proud of you. And it's just so weird.
What?
And then the epilogue's even better, because it turns out that they brought the walrus man home and just have him chained up by a doghouse in their backyard, just living there. And they lean over the back and just like, how are you doing? And he's just like, oh! The movie ends. It's fantastic.
I don't.
You have to watch it. It's so funny. But it's a horror movie.
What the
It's
heck?
Oh, he looks nothing like an actual walrus. Like it's human eyes, a human nose, and then just blobs of skin in the vague shape of a walrus with two big tusks. It's really something else. It's quite spectacular, to be honest. It was life-changing.
What? My question is, what possesses people to be like, what if we made a movie about a dude who turns into a walrus?
Actual Satan, I think, is what possesses them. I don't know any other answer.
What the heck? Entertain the audience. I have a movie.
Oh.
Let me get this up.
Greetings, boys and girls, once again to Owen's Entertaining Power Hour, condensed into a short few seconds. Have you or a loved one ever been diagnosed with life? Well, have I got the solution for you, dear friends? The solution is this thing that I have created called a bomb. And what you do, it's very simple. You purchase my product over the course of 5 months and 11 easy payments of $69.83. And once you receive my product, you ingest it through any means possible, and I will remotely detonate it from my leisure. And you will be cured of your disease, any and all of them. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
All right, so the name of this movie is Mars Attacks.
Oh, that sounds
Now, don't let it deceive you.
high quality.
Don't let it deceive you. This high-quality movie, basically, it begins with everybody running around and the aliens are blasting their heads off.
Oh,
That's how it begins.
that's the beginning?
That's the beginning.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah, you'd wonder, where do you go from there? Well, it cuts to the president, and he's like, Mars is attacking? And then
That's bad.
That's terrible. Their heads are getting blown off? Oh my gosh. Now, you may be wondering, how and where do you go from there? Well, it goes and it ends up the main character and the love interest are abducted. They're abducted. They're on this ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the main character is just a head. He doesn't have a body, right? Like they like cut off his body, but he's still alive.
And they're just carrying around a head?
Yeah.
And it doesn't bleed out or lose all functionality because it's just the head?
Yeah. And so they start taking dogs.
Can it talk?
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't have a vocal cord?
Yeah. So they take dogs, right? And they cut off dogs' heads.
No!
And they put the dogs' heads on the humans.
What?
And they put the dogs' bodies on the human heads.
What?
So all the humans at the end of the movie are just dogs.
What?
And all the dogs are humans.
What?
Yeah. They're all walking around. And the most iconic scene in this entire movie is when the girl wakes up. She's already on the dog body.
Oh.
And the dog is already on her body, right?
Oh.
And so she turns and she goes, ah! And then it's just the dog body go, "Ruff, ruff." And then it just stops, and then it ends, and then the end of the movie, they're all
I don't think there's an equal...
they're all like walking around.
I don't
you know
think
what I mean?
the ratio of humans to dogs is 1-to-1.
Well, it happened.
Okay. This is a true story, everyone.
And that was Mars Attacks.
Mars.
I'm gonna continue
They
with.
couldn't think of a better name than Mars Attacks.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Mars Attacks, and they
was
got
this a direct
shot.
to DVD film?
It's on HBO Max.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can get it if you have HBO Max. Anyhow, another one I'm gonna start talking about, Squid Game.
Well, that's not a movie.
It's not a movie, however, it is new, and I want to talk about it because I have not talked about it.
I haven't seen it.
Anyhow,
But Ben
basically, So it starts off, and this guy gets beat up. He's like,
Like bad?
like bad because like he doesn't have money, right? He needs money. He's poor.
A little crybaby.
And apparently he sells his rights because he's like, please don't kill me. I'll give you my kidney and my left eye. Just don't kill me, And then they're like, okay, sign your physical rights to us. And he signs the physical rights. Now he's like $100,000 in debt. And he doesn't know what to do.
After signing his life away?
Yeah.
Not because he signed his life away.
No.
Okay.
But basically...
Why did he get more debt?
Gambling.
Idiot.
Idiot. Fool. Anyhow, basically, what happens is that he's like... He goes on a train. He's trying to go home, and the train closes before he gets there. And he's like, how am I going to get home? I have to walk and all this other crap, right? He paid for the train ticket, and he couldn't
just wait
make
for the next train?
Well, he was, right? And then what happened was while he was waiting, some dude walks over and he says, "Hello, sir. Would you like to play a game?"
Very soft.
What would your response to that be?
What's the game? Big fella.
So you would say
word
that
for word is what I would
he-
say. I would
what
say,
he
"What's the
says-
game, big fella?"
What he says.
And then I give him a kiss in the mouth, smack his hips around a little bit, and then we'd hug it out, and he'd be like, "It's hide and seek, my dear friend," and I'd be like, "Actually, I changed my mind. I don't actually like hide and seek.
Well, it's not
Do you have
hide
any
and
other
seek.
options for me to play?" And he'd be like, "Actually, I do. We have Pokemon Red available for you to play." And I'd be like, "That's much better." And then I would once again kiss him on the mouth.
All right. So what
Is
happened?
that not how you interact with strangers
No,
on the street?
no, it's not. What I would do, basically what happens is he goes, "Would you like to play a game?" And the guy goes, "Hell no, you're weird," and he walks away.
Well, that's judging a
And then he
book
says,
based on
before
its
he-
cover.
No, no,
That's
he
rude.
Before he does it, he says, "Wait, sir," and then he opens the briefcase and he has like $1 million in there, and he's like, "All right, I'll give you this money if like you play a game with me." And he says, "All right," and so they play this game where they have pieces of paper, right? They're thick pieces of paper.
Like cardboard?
Yeah, cardstock, right? And they place it on the ground, and you have to throw the paper at the other paper, and you have to make the paper on the ground flip over.
What?
So basically,
Like with the wind that gets produced?
so
from
basically,
slamming
if that
paper
was
down?
here, so I'm placing my phone on the ground. It's on the ground, right? I take maybe another piece of paper, right? I throw it at the phone, but this is symbolizing the paper. But I have to make enough force to make the paper flip over.
Flip it over?
Yeah, I have to make it flip over.
How do you do that?
Yeah, you throw it as hard as you can and hope it flips over, right? It was a kid's game, apparently, in
Where does that in kids game?
like Korea.
Oh.
And basically,
Man.
he said,
They need to learn the ways of Pokemon.
he says every
Much better games to
time,
play.
every time you win, I'll give you $1,000. Every time you lose, you have to give me $1,000. And he says, I'll let you go first. And this is one of the best scenes in the entire thing so far. But basically, he throws it and he loses, right? The guy says, "Oh, you don't have $1,000. You can pay me with your body." And he slaps him. And he slaps him as hard as he can. And the dude is like, "Ow!" And he says, "Another round." And then they play, and he slaps him again. And then he does it again, and he slaps him again. At this point, this guy's face is like completely red. The guy is slapping him all
He never
over the
learns
place.
that maybe he's not going to be able to win.
But basically, he does it, and he keeps slapping him, right? And then finally, the guy wins. And then he immediately goes, "Let me slap you now." And he goes to slap him. And he completely forgot about the money. The guy stops him, hands him $1,000, and then walks away. And the guy's like, "Oh, crap, I forgot about the money." And then the guy...
He's a fool.
The guy says, "There are better games than this if you want to play." And he says, "Oh my God, yes." And so he gives him a thing, and then he ends up going, and then he calls the number that the guy gives him, and the guy's like, "Meet at this time, this place." And he goes to this, and then they tell him password, and then he gives them the password. He goes in the car, and then they put him to sleep
Nice.
with gas
Nice.
in the car.
What did it smell like?
I don't know. Gas.
You don't
Anyhow,
know?
they wake up and they've all been changed, and they have numbers on their shirt, right?
Very, very nice, very nice.
And they wake up, and then they immediately are told the first game's about to begin, and it's like red light, green light. They have to play red light, green light.
It's a fun game.
Yes. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, I'm about to win. And so then they start sprinting towards the end, like these two guys. And then the guy goes too fast, and when they say red light, he's like, oh my gosh. And then he falls, and he's like, oh, I guess I'm eliminated. And he tries to walk out, and then they blow his head off.
Oh.
And everybody's like, oh my god, like, we're gonna die, right? And that was like the first few episodes.
Oh. That sounds like fun. We should do that.
Yeah, we should. Anyhow, we've been ranting for a while.
As we do.
As we do. So, do you have any other closing notes? You heard it here.
Buy my product.
Anyhow, guys, sorbet.
You're welcome.